Good afternoon, everyone. It's Dave out here. I'm at Mohican State Park again. All the campsites are full, and looking forward to a quick overnighter and enjoyable one. So since you was here, stick around. Welcome back. Thanks for sticking around. So as I mentioned, I'm out here at Mohican State Park. Just gonna go down to Site 3 and probably drop over the edge. Went to sign in, and all of the sites were completely booked for tonight. It's beautiful, beautiful evening. No rain until about 11 or 12. So should be a good night. I'll bring you on my adventure. Thanks a lot. Welcome back, everyone. So I made it to the trailhead and actually going into the forest, and it's beautiful. Everything's green, as you can see behind me. Leaves are all out. It's about the same up in my house area. I live in northeastern Ohio as well. This is about an hour and 15 minutes from where I live, and it's beautiful out. First weekend I've really gotten a chance to go backpacking. My nephew Joe and his wife Nikki and I had a plan. It was like a week or two ago. We were going to head over to Raccoon Creek and do the entire loop around Raccoon Creek. Would have been 2 nights and 3 days. It's 20 miles in its entirety. It was just going to be a couple of short days, an 8 and 8, and then 4 out. And we were looking forward to it, but it ended up raining. So there was a lot of rain in the forecast, and it did end up raining quite a bit. That was Mother's Day weekend, as a matter of fact, I remember now. So we had to cancel that. It was a bummer, but I get it. We're still trying to figure out a weekend between them and their children and being busy, and us, my wife and I, and being busy and things coming up. This whole summer is pretty shot for us. It's busy. I wouldn't say shot because it's all good stuff coming this summer. Looking forward to a lot of the fun and happy events that we're going to be doing this summer. So, but I saw it was supposed to be nice tonight, Friday the 13th. So I thought, what the hell? Let's get out. Let's get some exercise. Enjoy this lovely nature. Enjoy what God has given us. And just have a good time. So again, thank you for joining and watching, and going down this big steep hill at the beginning of the bridle trail right now through my trekking poles in the back of the backpack here. But got some horses in front of us, so come along. Man, is it beautiful out here. Absolutely gorgeous. Spring has definitely sprung, as my mom used to say. Well, I guess she still says it. So, we're coming up to that intersection. I know you guys have seen this in my other videos. It's a T in the path, in the trail. The path, in the trail. And if we go right, it follows Pine Run Creek, pardon me. It follows it to Site 1 and across the Pine Run Creek, and it'll take you to Site 1, and then eventually it actually takes you up to the wooden teepee and around the big 7.5 mile loop. And if we go left, it'll take us to Site 2. So here's right. It'll take us that's from my last video where Joe and I crossed that creek, and it was pretty deep. And then we're gonna go left. We're gonna go take a look at Site 2, which I know somebody is there tonight, and we're gonna go across Pine Run Creek, then hit Site 3. So join me in this little adventure. Hopefully we can find a spot to sleep tonight. Walking along here, coming up to Site 2 here on the right, and this path reminds me of when I was a kid. I lived next to a farm, and the neighbor kid had it wasn't a true BMX bike, and neither was mine, but it was a 20-inch BMX type bike, and we used to ride back in his field and go back there where the farm animals were, and they had some woods. And we used to love riding the trails back there that the animals made, and quite frankly, the tractors and what have you. So just this hike with all the trees and leaves, everything out, reminded me of that childhood memory, which is a good memory, a very good memory. So we had some storms last week, some pretty hefty ones. There's definitely a lot of down trees all over. There's another one over there, and another one up here. Quite a bit of trees had fell during that storm, and a lot of rain. You can see some of the trail has been washed out as well. So just be aware when coming down. Like I said, Friday the 13th, 2022. Amazing. It's 2022 in my life. Seems like yesterday I was just that kid riding that bicycle in the backfield, fishing out of their ponds, dreaming about being older. I'm dreaming about being younger. And I tell you what, I wouldn't give up my wife or my kids for anything. So, very, very blessed. Very blessed. So, let's keep walking. Let's keep hiking here. And I'll share some more of my experiences here. I'll let you know when we get up to Site 2. I must say, the stability on this camera, phone, I use an iPhone 13 Pro with a terabyte of storage in it, and the stability of this camera from a shaking perspective is pretty amazing. So here is the entrance to Site 2. Like I said, there's somebody signed up for it. I don't see anybody here. Oh, yeah, they're over there. I can see them over there. But, yeah, creek is down a little bit. But, like I said, I can see them over there. They're set up. They're going to have a very nice evening tonight here on the river. So, I will get back with you when we go to cross the river, get to Site 3. Take care. So, I got partway through and forgot to vlog this and video it. So I'm about halfway through. The rocks have been scattered that they used to use for kind of a bridge. So I just walked right through it. Quite refreshing, 80 degrees out here. And it's quite refreshing to walk through the water. It feels pretty good. So we're just gonna walk the rest of the way through and I'll bring you along. Beautiful little creek, especially on a day like today. It's perfect. Water's nice and cool. so the current occupants of Site 3 weren't there, which is all right. Whenever I drop down on the back side, I always like to let the people know that I'm going down over that one side. You can't see each other, you can't hear each other, but I just like to do it out of respect and courtesy. So I'm gonna walk down the trail to the creek on this end and head down to that stealth site where Joe and I set up camp that one time, and set up my camp, get cooled off, and go from there. I'll see you guys at camp. Well, you can tell spring has sprung. Got some flowers. I don't know exactly what they are, but they're beautiful little purple flowers. So I'll show some video here and definitely some pictures. But it's gorgeous. There's a bunch of them along this way and some along this hillside behind me. You probably can't see them because they're so small, but I'll flip this around and let you guys see. All right, let's head on down. Enough, yeah, more of those purple flowers. Like I said, I'm not sure what they are, but they're scattered along the path here. There's groves of them. So, looking, that might have been a good spot to drop down and head at an angle towards that site. I'm gonna go ahead and put you guys down for a second and find my site. See you in a minute. You head down at an angle until you get to the creek, and it'll be right in front of you. I'll walk up to it right here. Somebody, I don't know when, but somebody put a little fire ring in place right here. This is the site where Joe and I kind of hung out, and actually this is the site where I did my very first solo and very first backpacking trip. I'll talk a little bit about that here in a minute. So I'm gonna get set up. This is the site of my first backpacking trip. We'll talk about that in a minute, but I think it's gonna be right here. I'll put the banner up there so you guys can link to it if you want to see that one. It's just me as a solo, and I think I'm gonna use these same two trees. This one and this one to put my hammock up. So stay tuned, guys. Got my hammock up. It's in a good hang. I think it is actually. Looks good. Just want to point out before I deploy the tarp, you can see up here, it's a new tarp. I went ahead and purchased a dyneema tarp from Hammock Gear this year, and you can see that in this video here of the new gear from Hammock Gear. Is the tarp. It does have doors. It's 12 foot. My hammock is an 11-foot hammock. It's from Dream Hammock. The tarp is dyneema. Crazy light. It's actually about half the weight of my Sil Poly tarp that I got from Hammock Gear last year at this time. So I'm going to deploy the tarp and get it set up, and then I'll be back and show you guys what's going on here. It is crazy buggy out here. I don't know if you guys can see them, but I'll be back in a second. All right, camp is set. Tarp is up, hammock is up, everything's looking good. Tested out. I put it in porch mode tonight. It's only supposed to get down to 60, no rain tomorrow until about 11 or 12, and I'll be probably either home or almost home by the time that rolls around. So new dyneema tarp, as I mentioned. It's very light, it's very durable. I love this thing. It is crazy light. I do have a snake skin, and like I said on that video, but I do have a snake skin that goes all the way down the tarp, and basically I roll it up and just take the snake skin, put it over it, fold it up, put it back in my pack. It works out very, very well for me. One thing I did different with this tarp as compared to, I'm going to walk down to this other end because I'll be able to show you guys better. What I did different on this tarp than what I did on my last tarp is I got different connectors I guess is the right term. I got D-rings in my Sil Poly tarp, which is just that. It's a ring and it's shaped like a D. And then you put, and I'll show a picture of it in here. But, and you put some a shock cord on it, and then your paracord or your zing it or whatever you're going to use to attach to your stake to stake out your guy line. And then you have to use, you don't have to, but I do. I use Dutch Ware's worms to tie it down. They work great. Don't get me wrong. I think Dutch's stuff is fantastic. In fact, I'm using the buckles here. This is a Dutch buckle here. I don't remember what the exact thing, but it's a buckle for the hammock, for the straps. They're very light. They're titanium. They work great. Anyways, back to the guy lines. That's what I would use on my Sil Poly. Then I learned about Line Loc 3s, and I did not know about Line Loc 3s when I bought my Sil Poly. I didn't do enough research, so hopefully this helps somebody in making a decision. I did Line Loc 3s all the way around on this, and it works great. So here, as you can see, is what's called a Line Loc 3. Hopefully I can get it in there. There we go. Essentially what it does is your zing it or your guy line loops through and then back through itself, and you just pull on it to put tension on it, and to take it out you just lift this tab up and it releases everything, and it runs out. It was easy, it was fast. Set up on this, I just put the stakes in the ground, pulled the one end, boom, made it as taut as I wanted to, did all four, and when I did porch mode, it worked out great. The difference then on my ridge line from my Sil Poly tarp and this tarp, I have a continuous ridge line going, meaning going around this tree all the way through the tarp and then around the other tree. And I use Dutch's Wasp on one end and Dutch's hook on the other end. If you haven't seen those, this is the Wasp. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but I'll show a picture of it. That's the Wasp, and the hook is just that. It's just a little tiny hook that hooks onto the other end. And then what I did with the D-rings is I put a little S-beaner, a small loop of Zing It, and then I tied a Prusik knot on the ridge line on both ends, which if you don't know what a Prusik knot is, look it up. It's a basic knot for hammocking and for a bunch of other things, but it allowed me to take the tarp and center it very easily by grabbing the Prusik knot and running it down the ridge line and then taking it out that end to tighten it up, or vice versa. If I had it too far down on that side of the hammock, I needed to pull the tarp this way, I could easily do it. Whereas the way I've got it set up now, the Line Locs are doing essentially the same thing. So I can take this Line Loc and loosen it up and let this end drop and then get closer, and then take this end here, there it is, take this end here and tighten it up, and essentially pushing the tarp this way, or in reverse, you know, loosening it up on this end, tightening it up on this end, which will push the tarp that way. So I can center the tarp on my hammock using these Line Locs. I was a little bit skeptical when I kind of thought about it, but I'm like, somebody else has got to have it. I'll be honest with you, I haven't seen anybody else doing this. I'm sure they are. They just probably haven't videoed it or made mention of it, whatever it is. I'm a newbie, trust me. I'm only doing this a year and doing things as easy as possible. But this is working great. I love the Line Locs on this. It was easy to set up. It was quick to set up. And I'll go from there. I'm loving this setup. Looking forward to a night in the hammock. The last time Joe and I went backpacking here, we stayed at Site 6. I'll throw that video up here. It was the last one. It's on my playlist here. But I use my tent. I have a Zpacks duplex tent that I used. I love that tent. It's a great tent, easy to set up again. I am so much more comfortable in a hammock though. So much more comfortable. I just hope it's not too hot tonight. I hope it cools off, because I have a 40-degree underquilt, and I have a 30-degree underquilt from Hammock Gear, and I have a 40-degree top quilt from Hammock Gear. So I'm debating on whether or not I'm even going to put the freaking thing on. I know it's supposed to get down into like 60 or 63 tonight, something like that. But who knows? We'll see what happens here. Anyways, I'm going to get the quilts set up. It's about 5 o'clock, I think it is. It's about 4:30. So I'm going to get things going, wrapped up here, get some firewood going, and some dinner going, man. I'm getting hungry. So I'll be back. Thank you for joining me. And if you could subscribe, hit the like bell if you like it. I do have a Instagram page as well, _outside. I'll throw that down here as well. I do have some merch. I got to do better on the merch. But I do have some merch if you want to buy something that has the big SO and Since You Was Outside on it, go for it. You know, I think that's pretty cool if you do that. I'm just out here having a good time, guys, and loving every minute of it. So take care. Thank you again. I just got done processing firewood. Picked up a bunch of little sticks, dead stuff, a little bit bigger stuff to get the fire going. And then I found a standing dead, which is something you guys should always look for, is standing dead. Anything laying on the ground could be absorbing the moisture and the water from the ground, and it'll be hard to get going and keep going. But anything standing dead that you can just push over or something like that, or even leaning against other trees. There's some over this way as well. But that's going to be your best source of firewood. I just picked up a new saw. It's the Sven Saw. I don't know if you guys have seen this or not. But I follow Outland Outdoors, I believe it is. I believe his name is Lance. But I follow him and saw that he had just picked up one, and I started doing some research on it. And they're very sharp, very light, easy to put together. I'll do more of a review on it whenever I get home and have a chance to really kind of sit down and review it and tear it apart and put it back together and show you guys exactly. So look for that. And if I remember, I'll put the link up here so that you guys can link back to it. But just my initial thoughts. So first time I've used it out here, it is very sharp. It cut through wood. This was a standing dead that I had. So you can see my hand. It's probably about 5 inches, maybe about 3 or 4 inches wide. And it cut through it. So here's the saw blade. It cut through it very easily. I was very happy how it cut. One thing that I will caution people on is either wear gloves. I didn't cut myself, but either wear gloves or make sure you grip the saw up here at this point, and don't let your hand creep down, because your hand tends to creep down to give some more leverage on sawing. And the blade is right here. The sharp part is down here. The blade is right here, and as you can see, your little finger kind of comes across that blade. And as you can see, I wore a little bit of skin off of there, and it's just from the friction of it, you know, going back and forth and the saw blade flexing and what have you. Like I said, it didn't cut me, but I would highly recommend either wearing gloves. Make sure your hand is above that blade, so that you don't rub your hand raw. In fact, I didn't even know it was happening until I looked down and saw blood on my hand. And I'm like, well, where did that come from? But it's a great saw. First impression, it's a great saw. Super light, super sharp, easy to put together, easy to take apart. Got a little fire going here. Got my shoes drying out. Remember, I had to cross Pine Run Creek back here. And so my shoes and my socks got wet. No big deal. I've got an extra pair of socks with me. They're in my pack, and just trying to get my shoes dried out for tonight. I mean, if they're wet tomorrow, in fact, come to think of it, they're going to get wet tomorrow morning anyways. But I just like to dry them out. I do use the Injinji hiking socks. They're the Crew. I don't know if you guys can see them, but they're the Crew, and they have the toes in them. It's supposed to help with blisters. I haven't had any issues with them since I bought them. I actually like them a lot. It's kind of funny, my wife, she hates anything like between her toes. There's no way she would be able to wear these. In fact, I tried to get her to wear them one time and she just couldn't do it. So I like them. So anyways, I'm gonna get some dinner started here. Tonight I've got something new I have never tried. It's Peak Refuel. This is the beef chili mac. Sounded pretty good. Beef crumbles, macaroni noodles, beans, and vegetables, and a sweet chili sauce. So looking forward to giving this a shot. I've had Mountain House meals before. I've had breast sausage and summer sausage and cheese and some other stuff like that, and made, you know, dehydrated meals and snacks. But I've never had the Peak Refuel. I've heard good things about these. Like I said, I can't tell you that they're good or bad until after I eat this one, so we'll see how that goes. So looking forward to that. It's got 40 grams of protein per pouch. That's a lot of protein per pouch, so we got that. Another thing I've tried recently is, you know, IsoPro. I have an alcohol stove that I made actually when I first started backpacking last year. I got the Fancy Feast idea off of Frozen Outdoor Adventures, and then I've also seen a lot of people are carrying a regular stove with the IsoPro fuel canisters. That's pretty common. I know that, but instead of buying like a really expensive, you know, MSR Pocket Rocket or something like that, I picked up this little BRS. I believe it's a 3000T or something like that. I'll put it right here so you guys can see it. But it's this little guy. I know I'm pretty far away, but I'll get a picture of it here for you in case you can't see it. It's this guy here. But this thing is the bomb. It heats water and boils water really freaking quick, and doesn't use a lot of fuel when it's doing so. It was 16 bucks on Amazon. Look for BRS, like I said, 3000T, I believe it is. I'll put that here so you guys can see which one I'm talking about. But it's a bomb. This thing really kicks out the heat, and you know, real easy to use. So it's heavier. I will tell you guys. The stove itself is not heavier. It's much lighter, if not the same weight as my Fancy Feast stove. However, the canister is much heavier than just bringing a small, like I had an 8-ounce plastic bottle. You guys have probably seen them in my other videos, but it's an 8-ounce plastic bottle that I put the fuel in, the alcohol actually in, and it works great. I don't fill it up. I don't use 8 ounces when I come out. Whenever I would use the alcohol stove, it's maybe an ounce per boil, maybe an ounce per boil, if that. So you got, like, you know, if you're doing dinner and breakfast, or lunch, dinner, and breakfast, you know, 3 boils, that's 3 ounces. If you do 4 ounces, you're going to get through an evening and a day. You know, you're going to need 8 ounces for a full weekend, but it's still lighter than this thing. This thing's a hog, and it takes up a lot of room in my and I think there's a smaller one. I think this is the 8-ounce canister. Yeah, this is an 8-ounce canister, and I think they have a 4, so maybe I'll look into a 4-ounce canister. But it works great. I do like it. I'm not saying I don't like it, but I think I like my alcohol stove much better. The issue is I couldn't get the alcohol stove to stay as hot during that last hike that Joe and I went on, and it was snowing out. So I don't know. I have to give it a shot. But I'm going to be using this guy tonight and tomorrow morning for breakfast. Tomorrow morning for breakfast, I got the Peak Refuel, but it's the biscuits and gravy. I love the biscuits and gravy out of Mountain House. I'm looking forward to this. This is supposed to have big chunks of biscuits in it, so we'll find out tomorrow morning. See what we got. I got a bunch of other junk in here. But one thing I am going to do, I needed, oh yeah, I needed that. I need this bad. This is, good. Life just got a lot better. We'll take a look at Jay Wanders Out. He's a good dude. I used to work with him when I was at a different company. In fact, it was the company he quit to go do the lifestyle he's doing now. But he's currently running the, he's doing the AT right now. I'll throw his YouTube channel up here, but it's Jay Wanders Out, WANDRS out. Great guy, absolutely a great guy. I'm glad he's found what he wants to do now, and he's just hiking the AT and enjoying it. And I am jealous as all jealous gets. So, Jay, if you're watching this, man, good luck. Keep up the good work. I watch your videos every day. Glad you're having a good time out there, and I'm very happy for you, and very happy for you and Tina. So take care. Anyways, yeah, so check him out. I'm babbling now, so I'm just gonna finish my dinner and finish. So had dinner, had a couple of beers, and just kind of relaxing right now. Was watching some videos on my phone and let the fire burn down, make sure it was out. It's, as you can see out here, it's still light out. It's a great thing about summer is, you know, the sun is still out, or not sun, but it's still light out, you know, later in the evening. So it's only like 8:30 right now. I'm kind of tired. Long week at work. A lot of things going through my mind right now, so I'm just going to relax in my hammock, watch some more videos on my phone, and probably fall asleep pretty early tonight, which means I will probably be up crazy early in the morning. Now, I'm one of those guys that usually wakes up about 6:30 in the morning, so I would imagine, and that's with going to bed at like 10, so I would imagine I'm going to be up really early in the middle of the night, but I am in no hurry. Well, I am. I want to go home and see my wife and my son. But I'm in no hurry to really like get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and get out of here. So I'm gonna hit the bed and like I said, watch some videos and see how things kind of hang out here, and you know, just watch the sun go down, the darkness come about, and watch my shows. So thank you for joining. I'll see you guys in the morning. You know, I'll make breakfast in the morning and have some coffee. Gotta have the coffee. And maybe have a little fire. I have plenty of firewood left over. Like I said, the person or persons who come over here to do this kind of little bit of a stealth site are gonna be crazy happy because there's plenty of firewood there, and not only logs that I had cut up with that Sven Saw. By the way, it is a good saw. Just watch. I cleaned it up. You can't even tell that it was actually cut. It was right there on my pinky. So it's all good. It was just rubbed raw is what all happened. So anyways, you guys have a good night, and I will see you in the morning. Thanks for watching. And everyone. About 7:30 in the morning. I think it's like about 62 degrees, somewhere around there. I slept great. Had a, people call it a good hang or a bad hang. I guess it was a good hang. First time I've slept in a hammock in, it's probably been, well, since Joe and I went to Mohican and we got about a foot of snow and hiked out. A Monday morning on that, so it felt good, felt really good. I stayed warm, didn't have any issue. In fact, I didn't have my top quilt on until pretty late in the evening. So did have a interesting event last night though. I got up and had to take a leak, and I saw a fire where a fire shouldn't be. Down here, and my only guess was, from where I'm camping, it looked like it was on trail, like literally on the trail. And it is Friday the 13th, so things were going through my mind like, oh boy, is this like some group of whack jobs or whatever, you know, kind of going on. So I kept an eye on it, and whoever it was a bunch of guys running around with their lamps on and the fire going. And I think on site 3, they separated or had 2 groups up there, because I saw
tent lights and other lights on from my side on the right, and then saw the fire, and I saw the other headlamps and stuff way on the left side closer to the trail. So I'm guessing it was just two groups of people up there just enjoying the evening just as I was. So it was different. It was just things go through your head, you know. So all's well though. Crawled back into my hammock and enjoyed a nice evening, and slept quite well. And so I'm going to get up here. I guess it's about 7:30. I may lay for a few minutes, but I'm going to get up here and make some breakfast and some coffee and start tearing down camp and just get back on trail. It's a mile and a half out to the truck, so like I said, I'm in no hurry. It's not anything I got to get, you know, home and rush about, except to see my wife and my son. So I will be back and we'll talk on trail. Stay tuned.
Thank God for waterproof socks. Whew. But the rocks are slippy. That's not going to help with me. Beautiful out here this morning. Very pretty. Well, good morning, everybody. So as you saw, I just crossed Pine Run Creek and Site 3 and then Pine Run Creek, and now heading back out to my truck. It's about a 1.5 mile hike. It's a nice little hike. The end is a switchback going up the hill. So I'll be a bit winded. Probably won't film during that. I'll do my outro as I'm walking to my truck. But as I mentioned this morning, it was a uneventful, eventful evening. I just walked by and met the 3 people that were stealth camping up there. And they said they were just looking for a spot, and then sat down and set up camp in the dark, and then got a fire going. So, which is awesome. I wish, I understand why Mohican doesn't do it, because there's so many people here that would probably not respect the land. But I wish they would allow stealth camping here. How's it going? Good. About that, came across a young man coming out of the woods. He said he camped at the campground last night and just came out for a morning hike. So that's awesome. Anyways, I was talking about stealth camping, actually. So yeah, I wish they would allow stealth camping here, but I know the reason why. And because I've gone to some of these sites and they're just trashed. I mean, there's stuff, trash laying everywhere, people cutting down trees they shouldn't be cutting down. It's just a mess. So they got to keep some rules in place. I get it. But it would be nice if they added some sites. So, all right, well, I'm going to keep walking here, and I'll see you in a minute. Site 2, looks like 3 hammocks on it. 4 hammocks. And this is where you get over to Site 2. You do have to cross Pine Run Creek to do so. But this is one of the spots you can just cross here. Or there's one up here. And usually if you're coming from the trailhead, when you're coming from that way, you go this way. So, and as you can see, there's some markings, and the yellow trail does cut across here. And the yellow trail runs right up that hill. So, hey everyone, I'm back. I made it up the hill. It's a bitch, it's a big hill. Like I said, it's a switchback, but I want to thank you for joining me today and last night. It was a great adventure. Didn't do breakfast. I'm going to stop at McDonald's on the way home and do something there. Buy some coffee and a sandwich. But again, thank you for joining me. Please subscribe. Hit that like bell. I do have an Instagram, and I'll put that down at the bottom here. But thank you. And remember, since you was outside, go have some fun.